Will you follow me when the sky starts to change? Yeah, we won't be afraid. We'll never be the same again.
Are we doing Stampede or going right into intro?
Right into it.
Right into
like,
it? Okay.
Like you intro. Yes, you.
Okay. Cool, Leo.
Stampede is next episode. Once we want to discuss it, because I want to.
With anime in the souls and thoughts of wrestling out of control, we're a group of weebs who love pro wrestling, and we are starting right now with our show. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Welcome to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. Again, allow us, the weebs, to be the voices inside of your head, because we had a great, fantastical Monday Night Raw tonight, and we're going to go through your head. We're going to be your voices. We're going to help you process everything, because we are on the road to WrestleMania, as I keep changing the intro tonight, because hey, we are only 47 nights away, and if it seems like I'm at a loss for words, is because we had history be made tonight. We had a shocker happen tonight. And I can tell just from the grin on my one co-host, from the sip of my other co-host, we are in for a really, really fun talk. Maybe some fun crash outs. I don't know, everybody. Your world champion is here to just kind of gush about everything that's going on. I am never alone in my endeavor, of course, because I have two lovely gentlemen here. Of course, the man who keeps laughing at everything, the man who wants to be positive about everything, the man, the myth, the legend, D Vash. Vash, how you doing tonight?
Is your boy that the reason I was laughing, chat, is because I thought Walkers was gonna throw that Gator bottle across the room or some shit like any second, like every time he kept holding it and having it on scratch your face, just don't fling back. So then, two is your boy the Visionary, where he came swinging on CM Punk. They both saw a red flag and just went ramping straight with no fucks given, throwing security guards and everything. I know that if CM Punk and Seth were a bit younger and were bigger, they would have thrown these security guards like they were just a chop of hot dogs or sausage out there, like just boom, left, right, like some Brock Lesnar shit, just throwing these men out there. I love the pipe bomb, you bullheaded fraud.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that pipe bomb at the beginning. Oh, we got words to talk about that.
By the way, I know definitely Drop, you're excited, aren't you? Iyo fucking won. We always say like, nah, Rhea's gonna win. Rhea's gonna probably take it. Or maybe Bianca might get interrupted, Triple Threat interrupted, but the match didn't get DQ because our referee said, nah, this shit has to end tonight. What did you think, Drop?
It was a great match. Unpredictability is back in wrestling. And Iyo Sky made history by becoming Grand Slam champion in America and in Japan. That's pretty big.
Yep.
Agree. That is
A
a huge thing for her.
a brand new setting for being a Grand Slam champion in WWE too. Like nobody's done it yet, but Io's the trendsetter. She is the history maker. She is the genius of the Sky. So yeah, our resident genius of the mat seems to be pretty excited for that. So seems like you're in a pretty good mood tonight, Drop, huh?
Oh, definitely.
I will say, with what Drop said, the unpredictably, it really makes sense to the core of what I think I saw a post from WWE on Netflix from IG just right before we go live, and they literally said this happened in a month time span. What happened in a month time span? Royal Rumble, Jey Uso won, many people unexpected. John Cena turned heel, and then Iyo went over Rhea, and Iyo has now 4 wins over Rhea in the WWE roster over the couple of years. That's insane. Like, those are the big main things that happened that a lot of people did not expect to happen. Now we have Iyo versus Bianca. Is Bianca gonna win, or is she gonna lose her streak? Because last night I was thinking about that, like, yo, Bianca might actually lose her streak this year. I'm putting that on it right now on this episode 120 of Weebs of the Ring on March 3rd. I'm thinking that Bianca's gonna lose her streak this year.
You're going that route. Interesting. Because I mean, not to sound like that kind of person either. Because I know we just talked about unpredictabilities back in wrestling. I feel like Iyo might have just been put into this triple threat to kind of take the pin, so that way we can hold off on the singles match of Rhea and Bianca. Because like the way we set it up tonight, this is gonna have like a series with it when it comes to Rhea and Bianca. Because like Rhea. Okay. I'm sure there are complaints out there about how this happened and all that, with like why Rhea even just went up to Bianca and started talking shit with her and everything. To me, I kind of get it, because this whole time, like ever since Rhea's held that title, she's always been like, yeah, I run this division. I'm on top. Mommy's on top, like all that stuff. And I mean, you always hear a title holder saying all that, how they run their division and everything. Little different with Rhea, because I mean, you can't really think of too many people that can beat her, except, again, tonight. And as Vash pointed out, Iyo Sky definitely has her number.
Right.
But her and Bianca haven't really, checked each other out yet in quite a long time, since their NXT days and all that. So right now, Rhea's she's very cocky. She's very hot-headed. She's somebody she's trying to be the alpha female in a way. And with Bianca just trying to cheer Iyo on at the end, I could see where that would upset Rhea, to be like, hey, what are you trying to do? Are you afraid of me? Are you afraid to fight me? Are you that scared that you don't want me to win this match? All right, well, let me show you just what you're in store for at WrestleMania. So, like, I guess for me, that's how I'm rationalizing her actions with being distracted by Bianca. And I do want to shout out to Jessica Carr, the referee for this match, because like sometimes you might question, oh, why didn't the referee DQ the match? Like, call for disqualification and all that. I don't know if commentary said something like this, but usually with a disqualification or like a count out victory or something,
it happens right away.
Well, not only that, it's usually up to a referee's discretion with it. And there have been times in like certain matches where the referee, like, it's not something that they'll like, allow like a low blow, for example, to happen, because hey, no, DQ, that's stupid, that's dumb. But just like she knew that match was very important. It had huge implications for WrestleMania, so there needed to be a conclusive, decisive winner for this match. So with Bianca, like, she just shoved Rhea, and so Jessica Carr, being the referee of the match, she made the decision not to DQ, because, hey, you just shoved her. Let me just knock this down. Stop the fighting. This match needs to happen. It needs to end, and all that. So just a quick shout out to Jessica Carr on that. But Job, I'm gonna bring it to you now. What did you think of, like, I guess, Rhea's decision making in this match, because like we saw the crash out. That crash out's going to be going around the social media and all that. But what did you think of Rhea's reaction and just her distraction with Bianca and the inevitable downfall of this match?
So basically, the story of the match. Honestly, like the way I look at it, really, when you were like over the confident like Rhea was in this match, it's gonna eventually bite you in the ass, because if you're super confident about everything, you're gonna overanalyze way too many things at once, besides taking time to actually break things down so you could fully understand the situation. And by Rhea doing that, this is why she's in this predicament to begin with, because I mean, having to taunt Bianca when she was about to finish Iyo off was an indicator right there, because she's getting herself distracted. She's feeling like, as you said before, the ruler of this division, which ended up costing her title in the long run, which I feel like is going to evolve Rhea and Bianca's characters even further. Because when it comes to Rhea's case, she needs to learn. I don't know. I mean, I guess what I'm seeing with like Rhea, really, it's like, I guess, truly finding her ground and understanding her rights and wrongs in order to really grow as a person. I feel like moving forward so she doesn't get into this predicament again. And with Bianca's case as well, since she was like a big part of this story as well when it comes to being a part of this match, because at first when I was jumping into this and I knew that Bianca was going to be outside there, I was like, okay, something's going to happen. Yeah. And I'm glad that there wasn't no DQ, because that plays into the story of the match between these three ladies when it comes to how we're going to get there at WrestleMania. But it's like one of the things that I've also noticed about Bianca that I've noticed a lot of people have been on board with is that Naomi, everything's all set in stone with Naomi and Jade, but I truly think this is probably part of Bianca's plan, using one of her friends as a scapegoat to get where she needs to be, knowing how she was even brought up during her interview tonight about the situation. She said she didn't want to talk about it, knowing her body language throughout this match itself, knowing how she was going to like snap a couple times and Rhea was getting in her face and everything like that. And also the fact that you know that Jade's going to be on SmackDown as well. I just feel like throughout this month itself, we're going to be seeing some changes with Bianca. Just like Rhea. Because like the way I think about it, I mean, hey, if I was in her predicament, as much as I hate to say it, I mean, that's how you get ahead in the game. If you really think about it.
And I had mentioned this too during our sidecast for Raw tonight, when Bianca was talking to, she was talking to not Jack. I keep saying Jackie Redmond tonight.
What's that?
I think she was in the back with Kathy Kelly, or not Kathy Kelly. God damn, Kathy. Anyway, just Kathy. Freaking
was it
Kathy.
Charlie?
Okay.
Was it Charlie or?
Was it Charlie? I don't know. She was talking to somebody in the back, and they had asked her, you know, that question that she said and all that, and like there's just the way she was talking and kind of holding herself.
Yeah.
She has some part in this whole Jade thing.
Oh yeah.
And she's going to be dodging this for a while, and she's going to continue to dodge it until, you know, the Jade comes to collect her debt and get those and give her receipt and all that. Like she was just she's being too genuine, like too babyface, like almost doing it to a point where it's just like, I'm trying to really save face here. Kind of like, you know, again, with her running to go see Jade and all that, and basically taking her out of that U.S. title picture. Again, it's just like, it's one of those instances where she's trying to save face for it, so that way nobody can call her bluff and all that. Like, it's a great move by her character-wise, at least if that's where they're going with it.
Definitely, for sure. And also, like, another thing that I took in account as well, when it comes to this entire thing, is that like you mentioned before about collecting receipts with Jade, who knows down the line if Jade could be the very reason that streak breaks.
Yeah.
I mean, you never
Whether
know
it's costing her
whether it's
or
costing
being
her
the
or
one to pin
something.
her.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's you also okay. Now I remember what I was getting to. So you
Yeah.
remember around Saudi Arabia after
Mhm.
that match, that big tag match that they had over there. I saw this promo going around, and I feel like it was put in here for a reason because it was a promo between Liv Morgan and Raquel and
Mhm.
Bianca and Jade, and it was pretty much talking about how you never know if your partner's jealous of you, wanting to take advantage of you to get ahead of the game. That was pretty much the words that was coming out of Liv Morgan's mouth, pretty much trying to tell Jade that like Bianca could be that kind of person. You never really know it until you truly find out. And the story really starts between the both of them. That's why it's like so hard for me to like wrap my head around it. Where it's like, okay, it's not just Naomi. It started with Jade and Bianca. That's where it ends, and it's just pretty cool how whatever's going on, Bianca and Jade is also intertwining what's going on with this as well. Because you never know, come Friday, we get this story mixed in with what's going on right here. Because one of the things I also noticed, and I forgot if we mentioned it on Saturday or not, but it's the fact that after the match, and I was even talking about with a couple friends at work, if you were really worried about your friend, you would like dash back there after the match. You could easily have had a moment where you could have come across Rhea and Iyo tonight and had that little stare down instead of doing it that day. But you would go back there and be like, holy shit, is she okay? Is she all right? She didn't even rush to go back to see if Naomi was okay.
No.
So there's just
And
a
I mean,
lot of factors there.
Yeah, and I mean, I get maybe the mindset of, oh, well, she just got done with the match, blah blah blah. She didn't really rush to her because she's tired, blah blah blah. But like, I'm kind of on your side with this too. It's just like, yeah, why didn't you just rush back there? Like, yeah, you want to celebrate a little bit in the ring, you know, because you won a huge match. You're getting to go to WrestleMania and fight for the title and possibly win that title and all that. But you know, celebrate and then, you know, try to, you know, hurry back to the back quicker to check on your friend that was basically obliterated by, I guess, now your former best friend and all that. But like, man, the match itself was cooking. I mean, there was a little bit of a rough start here and there, with like a couple botches from like Rhea falling after catching Iyo and all that. But like, this match just cooked. Oh, like ever since they got back from the ad break, they were just nonstop going back and forth with just everything they were doing. And I think my favorite sequence from this match, and I didn't realize that she was doing this until, I mean, she hit the elbow and all that, but like she did, like Iyo did a move from each member of Damage Control in this match in one sequence where it's like, yeah, because like I didn't recognize the Dakota kick at first until like after the Iyo elbow drop, and then it clicked in me like, oh wait, that's right, she did Dakota's like corner, like running corner kick attack, and then going up for the insane elbow, and then right into the Oscar lock. Like that was beautifully done by Iyo Sky.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean the whole thing with the match, it's just. I mean, it's not necessarily your David versus Goliath thing, because Iyo's got this technique about her. Like, and I mentioned this too on the sidecast. She's almost like a cat in the ring, where, like just the way she moves and the way she's like able to like get around the ropes and like jump onto the turnbuckles and all that. But like even how she's able to reverse a lot of Rhea's offense, and Rhea just being the powerhouse, just trying to do the powerhouse moves and all that. Like it's a really good dynamic between the two that I really love to watch. Yeah, just I think the theme of tonight was just matches that cooked. You know, even some of the like the lower matches, they just cooked a lot tonight, and just kind of it made you feel that WrestleMania season again. Like from the in-ring work, from the promo work, people were just cooking tonight, and this main event was no different.
I agree. Like it's like I said earlier, like unpredictability's back in wrestling. It's been something that a lot of us missed because normally when we hop onto the shows, we normally know what's going to happen. And that's not necessarily saying it's a bad thing because we never really know what leads up to that very moment. But it's just moments like this, like we got over the weekend with the John Cena heel turn. You can't really come out here and say that a lot of us predicted it to happen only because it's just something that's been wanting to be done over the years. But we know Vince McMahon never really wanted to pull the trigger because that was his guy. He tried it with Austin, didn't really work out in his favor. So he's probably a little hesitant because of that very reason, because John Cena was his cash cow. But look how much they show that throughout the show tonight, knowing how big of a moment that was, like the whole unpredictability dynamic. And then you see what transpired to here, because I thought we were going to get some sort of DQ. Like, I literally thought that spot that Jessica Carr caught them, that was it. I literally thought that.
Oh, same
But
here.
then we ended up having Iyo win the title, which well-deserved, of course. Not going to complain about that. But I just like coming in here where we could talk about something that we weren't really thinking of before. And I just love that. So if we get that sort of thing, like consistently, or we get it every once in a while when we, or honestly, it's just one of those situations where it's like, if it just happens because we don't really know when it's going to happen. I mean, I love it. It just makes the product so much more enjoyable. I mean, fuck all we know. Ray Phoenix could be making his debut at Madison Square Garden next week. So
he could be. I mean, well, that's the thing. I mean, we'll mention it later on too with the whole Chad Gable video package. But yeah, he could easily make his debut next week. There was a part of me that thought, oh, could we do this tonight?
Yeah, I thought that
like,
too.
I was like, oh, that would have been crazy to not only get the news on the same day for him to come out, but that's a whole other different topic right there. But like, yeah, the women's world title scene, that match, I mean, because I mentioned this again too earlier, we didn't get a match graphic because normally we do get a match graphic once we find out like a number one contender, especially if it's Mania and all that. Like, I mean, go back to when Jay chose Gunther. Like, immediately following that, we got the match graphic for it.
Yeah.
So we haven't gotten that match graphic, at least yet, as of time of us streaming this, of Iyo versus Bianca. So this could easily turn into a triple threat match.
Oh yeah,
easily.
Definitely. And and the more I think about that, if there is a title change here, because I can't really say there can be, because I know we don't know what the hell Triple H is thinking of nowadays. We could say one thing, it could be the exact opposite. But oh my god, this kind of gives me a little sliver of hope on Tiffany's favor.
Oh, same here, because man, she needs to go over Charlotte.
Oh yeah,
she absolutely needs to.
This is great.
Yeah, it was. I think the best thing too, and because this is just more just kudos towards Iyo.
Oh yeah,
you could see just in her face and in her reaction, just in everything, just how much this win means for her.
Yeah,
and just how much she appreciates being appreciated. Because like they're not just gonna throw a title on somebody. Again, this isn't the old regime. This isn't them just throwing a title just to throw it on them. Most of the time when somebody wins a title anymore, it's something that they've earned, not only just, in front of the camera, but behind the scenes as well. And you can really tell that with Iyo. Like, she really just, she's so happy that she won this title again. Because, again, what you just said, too, she probably also realized that she has made history. Like, she is the first woman in this. Well, no, I guess now with, like, the mid-card titles, too, being involved. But, I mean, that's neither here nor there. When we're just speaking with, like, the world titles and all that, like, she made history being one of the first women to be both in Japan and America Grand Slam champion. Like, that's some big history to make. And they don't just give that to anybody. They don't just give that to just your usual Charlottes, Sashas, Baileys, Beckys. Like, nah, this meant something to a lot of people.
And it was very genuine reactions online. A lot of people were
Mhm.
happy. She was happy. The very genuine reaction in her favor. I saw the clip. I saw the picture between her and Triple H, which I'll probably use as thumbnail later.
Yeah.
That was a very nice little video that they had. She really looked like she was about to cry. She was so emotional. I even saw like a video where she was like walking in the back. It was like a minute long. She was thanking the fans, saying thank you. She was saying the reason why I got here is because of all of you guys. It's nice to see her in this situation. Like,
Mhm.
I've always adored her
Yeah.
as a baby face. Like, yeah, she does play a good heel, but I just love seeing her get a lot of love. I love seeing the crowd
Mhm.
get behind her. It's really good.
Yeah. And I mean, again, I had made the comment earlier about, oh, well, she's probably only going to be in this triple threat to take a pinfall and all that. But I mean, again, we could be surprised too. She could just go over. It could be one of those stories where Rhea and Bianca are so fixated on each other that they kind of lose sight of the title itself. And Iyo just, again, surprises them, you know. Yeah, that'll come to an end for Bianca's undefeated streak, but I mean, again, you're too distracted on trying to end Rhea Ripley
Yeah.
that it just kind of it gets you distracted. And I mean, we see that seems to be like a key story beat with a lot of Triple H's booking nowadays, because like you see that with Drew, you see that with Seth, Punk a little bit too sometimes, or especially, you know, during the Elimination Chamber, but whatever, that's neither here nor there with that. So yeah, that could be a thing going forward with this triple threat. But yeah, the match itself at Mania is gonna cook. I think tonight again there were a couple slip ups here and there, but you know that's fine. You know, those things happen. Looking back too, I had an odd feeling when Rhea was making her entrance. She had this odd energy about her. And I'm not saying, oh, it was predictable that she was gonna lose, but like the thought did cross my head at one point where it's like, okay, is she gonna lose? No, she's not gonna lose. Like, they're gonna do the whole DQ thing and all that. So like, again, I was genuinely surprised and excited. Like, again, the start of this show, I could barely do her intro. Like, I'm just I'm over the moonsault for this win for Iyo Sky. Like, it's so good because like I'm a big fan of hers, and I love seeing my favorites win, and as we all are when being wrestling fans and all that. Like, it just feels so good, and just it feels really good to finally be in Mania season again. Because I know I was one of those people that was just like, oh well, this Mania build, it kind of feels bad. It kind of feels, you know, slow and all that. So this is one of those moments where yes, thank you. I want to be proven wrong. Like, make me feel this way, because I would rather be happy than right. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
That's a great feeling to have.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you have anything else we could add, or I mean, because we kind of just started with this part of the story, I guess, or at least this chapter going into Mania. Is there anything you want to add that we haven't really talked about when it comes to the women's world title picture?
I will say I'm glad that we could get some good, compelling story out of this. So that, I mean, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, same here. Same here. And I mean, just like what Triple H said at the press conference too. I mean, apparently the main events aren't set for Mania.
Yeah.
So whoever's got the best story, whoever's got the most momentum, could main event one of the nights. Who's to say this couldn't main event like a night one, at least? I doubt a night two, because that's probably going to be Cody Cena. But like, who's to say this couldn't main event night one? You know?
Yeah, it's very possible. Never know.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, there is another match that could main event night one. Before we get into another hot story going on. We have one that is starting to cook up a little bit more. We have our World Heavyweight title picture with Gunther taking on Jey Uso for his World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, because hey, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. He chose Gunther to face at Mania, and we're going to be spending the next month and a half trying to cook that story. Which, you know what? Each week we start adding another ingredient into that little stew of Gunther versus Jey, and I think this week, after the backstage promo Jey had, I think it's starting to really go somewhere here, because like now Jay's starting to get very upset, or like it's starting to really affect him about like people online. Like let's be honest, they're throwing shots at people online with Jey Uso's promo in the back, where he's like, yeah, people keep saying I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't beat Gunther, I can't do anything. Like, no, the fact that he said I'm going to crash out at WrestleMania kind of makes me excited for what he might have in store for Gunther. I don't know, what do you think of Jay's promo? I think that's more of the hot topic here than the match that we got. But we'll touch on the match here in a minute. But what do you think of just Jay's backstage promo before he left the building into Buffalo, New York weather?
This is the kind of attitude you need from him. I'm gonna say that straight up. This is the kind of attitude that you need from Jay heading into this match with Gunther at WrestleMania. I'm confident. I think both of us are pretty confident that he's gonna win the title. It's one of those moments that I'm happy WWE is doing, because they're striking while the iron is hot with this guy, because you never know what kind of money they could have with Jay moving forward with this when he becomes an even bigger superstar. And I'm glad that they're having Jay showcase, what he can say on the mic, because he's a pretty good promo. I mean, we've seen him as the heel when he was back in the Bloodline, even over the years when it was just him and Jimmy together. Like I actually saw a clip earlier today about when him and Jimmy were like talking to Cena in the ring, and he mentioned about the whole thing with their mug shots and stuff like that. They've always been like very charismatic, and seeing that serious side of Jay, because a lot of people just see this all the time, and it's okay to have that because that's a part of the show. But seeing a lot of people doubt Jay, I mean, you got a sense of realism in there, because that's how a lot of people are online. People are like, oh, Gunther's gonna body Jay. We've seen, Gunther beat him before, he's gonna beat him again. Jay isn't really a serious threat, which is why Jay is the underdog in this situation. And normally when you're the underdog in this situation, you want to prove people wrong. You want to, you see all those doubters out there. You really want to showcase what you're capable of there. And that's what I could see out of this match. And we know how good Gunther is in the ring. I mean, this match between him and Otis tonight, it was a great, fun, meaty match, like the notes say. So we know that Gunther could bring a great match out of anybody. So you would realistically think in your head that he's probably going to bring Jay, I would say, to his best match. Like, this is pretty much like his breakout moment when it shows, okay, Jay, you have a title shot for the World Heavyweight title. We're betting money on you. You won the Royal Rumble. You're in a pretty big moment right here. Let's see what you're capable of. And I feel like this is going to be Jey Uso's breakout moment to show, okay, I could put on a great match with Gunther. I can prove a lot of you guys wrong. I could probably, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest we see Jey Uso pull out a couple moves he doesn't normally do. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see him, like he said, completely crash out and just do a whole bunch of crazy shit, which is what you need. And it gets me excited because we know that Jay can be like this. We've seen him like this before. I can't even begin to tell you, whenever he was getting at Sammy all those times, like in those early days of the Bloodline, that was probably one of my best parts. I just loved how he used to crash out all the time. Like, oh, this is a fake ass Zeus. Get the hell out of here. All that stuff that he said to Roman. Like, we know he's capable of being in a position like that. So that got me super excited to see that. I'm hoping that continues further. One of the things that I did say that I definitely want to see more out of these guys. It's okay to do the pull apart brawls, hit each other, stuff like that, because we're obviously going to be getting moments like that with the ladies when it comes to that potential triple threat down the line. We'll obviously get it with Cena and Rock, because there's no fucking way Cody's going to head into Mania and not lay a hand on Cena or Rock.
Oh,
So it's like you're eventually you're still going to have those moments between Jay and Gunther, but I really want to see like a promo segment between the both of them where we can break down and analyze on the show. And I feel like that's going to really help build a lot more heading into this match, because they still got 7 weeks. And this is different because normally WrestleMania starts early April. This is probably like the third week in April, like the 19th and 20th. You got a lot of time. And I actually don't mind that, because to me, it makes me happy, because I mean, I could say I'm a long gamer myself. I don't mind waiting it out and see where things go, because we're still going to get there to watch WrestleMania. Give me a good product. Give me a reason to care about these matches heading into this, so I can be entertained. And I really like this. And just to give like a quick thoughts on the match itself, so we can hop back to you guys. Thought it was a great match between the both of these guys. Otis, we know he's great. Hoping he gets some singles push down the line outside of Chad Gable stuff, of course. But I'm hoping we get like something serious. I get it, the whole comedy thing, whatever. It worked for him. They could still do it, but I want to at least see him push maybe for like an IC title run down the line. Not saying this year or whatever, but at least get him to that stage. That's something that I really want to see when it comes to the both of those guys. And I feel like Otis can really do that. He's still over. People care about him. And I'm really hoping he gets to that point. And this was great. And then, of course, you got 8-Town Down Under, which, I mean, okay, you know, they got involved. They got their ass handed to them. You got Jay and Grayson Waller next week. But, I mean, come on, man. Break up that tag team now. I mean,
we are eating into breakup. I believe I told Watkins during the sidecast that we might be getting a Grayson versus Theory at WrestleMania match, since that is where they might lead up to it, depending how, like I said, we have 7 more weeks. And the last thing that we saw was a year ago. We saw them winning the tag team for SmackDown. So we might get them to have their faces turned and everything leading up to WrestleMania. So that might be something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible to see that. I mean, hey, if you want to have everything come full circle when they won the titles and then looking at where they are now, I mean, that's a story you could tell heading into that event. And I'm just hoping at that point, if they do it there, they just end it. Because me and you watched that Vengeance Day pay-per-view. We watched those matches play out and everything. And there was a lot of teases there between the both of them, especially with Grayson Waller hitting his move, hitting his stunner on Austin Theory and just costing him multiple chances to pin Oba in this match. It's just so hard to look back at the abuse that he's putting this guy through, and then you just see the same shit playing out. It's almost like, are you going to take this guy's shit? You're going to knock him out. But those are my thoughts. I'll pass it to you guys on this whole segment.
Yeah. Vash, I'll transition to you with it. So, like, we had started talking about Jay's backstage promo first to kind of start off the conversation. So, what do you think of his backstage promo later on in the night, again, before he walked into New York weather and possibly gets hypothermia?
So after getting beat up by Austin Theory and Gunther and Grayson Waller and all that, the promo between him getting loose, the animal getting awakened, to me was so good. It reminded me of the promo that he did with Roman Reigns back in the pandemic era, or during the 2023 when he was going after Roman's title in the singles champion of the Bloodline Rules, or for the Tribal Chief, Ulafala. So it reminded me of those promos that I love how Jay is finding the mix of balance of the 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. But before he does that, now he's finishing his promo, his line with that 4 letters, 1 word, yeet. but he's adding more to that now. The animal has awoken him because he said it like, yo, people are doubting me. People say I'm not going to beat him. People are telling me, people are coming and beat me up. Nah, Gunther, you awoken something in me. And I really love that. You see the drive, you see the hustle, you see the promo in that. And like Jackie said, this man walk out in cold New York City weather. Well, sorry, not New York City, New York Buffalo weather. And here in New York is like 20 something degrees. Out there is probably less. So, man, hopefully right out there, like once you walked out, you went back up the stairs. Hey, cameras off. I come go back. That shit was dumbass cold. I was wilding because you was wilding on that. Drop mention about the Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. I'm gonna say, I love how not Grace. My apologies. Austin Theory is showing that face turn bit by bit. The more he's being evolving, and also even the crowd is loving him when he does the yeet, and like it's showing how much the crowd cares more about Austin more than Grayson right now, and it's showing the little small bits, and even Grayson trying to grab him at the end, like, yo, come on, stop playing around with this shit. Come on, just fuck this yeet shit, and just moving along. So I appreciate that Austin's showing that, and he loves to be part of the crowd, the yeet. Even I believe me and Watkins spoke about it last week on our Raw sidecast as well, when we also saw the clip when Grayson Waller and Austin Theory was out in their car, and Austin Theory was just signing some names and everything like that. And again, Grayson Waller went around the car, started grabbing him too. So it just keeps being week to week. It's just going to be at some point they have to put the tension where in this time they was about to hit each other, but they stopped right at the right moment. But we're gonna see a brawl very soon, either on Raw or SmackDown, because if this is gonna be a face turn, it has to be WrestleMania, because it has to come full circle. 2 years ago, John Cena, Austin Theory. 2 years later, and that has to be Grayson Waller and him to clear up the mess and push him very well. Have him get the US title back, or have him go for the IC title. He needs a better run now under the Triple H dream. So far it's been more on the comedy, the tag team stuff, so I really want him to succeed in that. The match of Gunther and Otis, I will say it was better for Otis. For Gunther, I didn't really care for the match for him, because is Gunther. He knows how to secure a good match, and he knows how to make the match valuable, even if he's fighting a lower mid carder. But for him to actually, I like the little volley where there was going slap for slap, and like Otis was not going down, and Otis was just pushing him down, and it was really showing Otis' aggressiveness. And Watkins brought up something beautifully, saying that it's meat versus meat, but Otis has extra pound of meat right now that he could use that as his own shield, and that's what he did. Like Gunther, which is funny, and I saw the timeline, Walling, that Gunther was making fun of Otis in his shape, but then Gunther, haven't you seen yourself in the mirror, or technically pictures from years ago when you used to be called Walter and you used to be a bit bigger and chunkier? So my guy, you should be talking. Just saying.
Hey man, hey, he put in some work though.
Oh, he did. No.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'm not taking for granted. I'm just saying the promo work. Like, hey, Gunther, you should have said, hey, you should have added, hey, look at me, Otis. I have evolved. I was you a couple years ago back. Now look at me. I'm the world champion with a nice belt and a good-looking body. Maybe that would have added more to the Lakers in the aspect.
Yeah, but this match was fun as hell. Like, I'm sure because hey, the internet exists and all that. There are probably those people being like, "Oh, Gunther shouldn't be taking so much time to beat Otis. Oh, he shouldn't be taking any offense on Otis. He should be squashing Otis." Nah, this makes sense. Why? Because Otis is a big, meaty boy, and Gunther is also a big, meaty boy. And what happens when you put two big, meaty men in the ring together? You get them slapping some meat. And that's some thick meat that they gotta slap through, as we saw with, like, Otis was tanking some of those chops. Those are Gunther chops. Gunther chops that Otis was just tanking most of the time. Like, that's just some crazy endurance from him too, in that aspect. But I mean, Gunther was going to win regardless, but it's just like this is just one of those fun matches that you can have have fun with, because wrestling can be fun, whether it's the awesome action you get or the comedy styles of some of these people and all that. And this match really it did what it needed to do, because it played upon from last week. It gave Gunther another win going into Mania. It gave him some more promo work, and it added to the story that we're telling here, where we have the professional wrestler versus the sports entertainer, the man who's all about the action, the man who wants to make that ring sacred, compared to the guy who just comes out of the crowd, yeets all over the place, and gets everybody to buy his merch. Like, we have that story going forward, and we're continuing that through these characters like Otis and Tozawa and all that. And I mean, I'm kind of assuming we're going to be getting like a 6-man tag down the road with they're calling themselves like American Babes now. Is that it, or whatever it is?
I don't think so. I think it's just more like for the funny giggles. I think they're still calling it.
Okay, well, because the shirt they wore was like, or it was like Alpha something. It's whatever their shirt says. But
I don't remember reading it. But if we have Otis and Tozawa with Jay Uso versus Gunther and Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, that's an off team. That's an off team. Jay and Otis, I get. Tozawa's awesome, but like for current showing of WWE, curious to see how they're gonna value, because if they're gonna take a pin, it's gonna probably be Tozawa be taking the pin, and if they are gonna take a pin on Gunther's side, will probably be Grayson Waller to push the story, while Austin Theory is gonna be out on top, or Grayson Waller did a mistake. That's my assumption, that if we do get a 6-versus-6, I mean a 6-man tag.
Yeah, I can definitely see that it wouldn't surprise me, because I actually got that feel when I was watching this. Like, we know that Jay and Waller's happening next week, but I can definitely see like Jay, Otis, and Tozawa against Gunther, Waller, and Theory. Like, I do sense that down the line. Maybe that happens the following week, who knows? But I mean, they're loading that Madison Square Garden show up pretty well.
They are. I mean,
are they now?
Like I said, you know when the Garden comes, they're going to be putting a lot of crazy shit. Same thing's going on in NXT. They do it for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's like part
or
of
even
history.
A steel cage.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I'm going to start this segment off by saying this. So, after what happened Saturday with John Cena turning heel, he's not going to be on Monday Night Raw. So how do you start a Monday Night Raw, a must-see Monday Night Raw? You start it in probably the most perfect way possible by throwing CM Punk out there. By taking that pipe and bombing it. By taking that mic and dropping it, much like Cena did on Saturday. That man got on that mic and just set it on fire. Like, what were some of these lines he was saying? I mean, the whole, what was it? The bald-headed fraud right there.
Yeah.
Calling Rock, like basically calling Rock's, again, his little title that he holds, that little fake title he holds and all that, pretending to care about this business that gives you goosebumps with their pretend title and things like that. And I think my favorite part with it, though, is calling out John, because he's just like, look, I gave you the benefit of the doubt because of your history, because of everything you've done in the past. But you know what? No, that's not going to work on me twice. And he called this out too. He's just like, you guys have now finally seen what I saw years ago. And it plays upon so much history, and it's a great way to continue what happened on Saturday without those two here.
I could see it in the summer.
Oh, dude. I saw a couple posts today. Yep, Summer of Punk. I saw one saying run it back at Money in the Bank. I mean, I know that's not a big 4 pay-per-view, but Money in the Bank
makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, it doesn't have to be the same location, but it's just the PLE alone. There's just a lot of history when it revolves those two guys. And I mean, we even saw on Saturday, the chemistry is still there between the both of the guys. They haven't missed a step, and I've seen a lot of people say the same thing. It's not like it's been said by me, you, Vash, other people. Like, I've seen a lot of people say that, damn, you put these two guys in the ring, it's almost like you're looking back all those years ago when they first started bumping heads. So the magic is still there between the both of them. And I mean, you could also throw Randy in the mix down the line. We're in a timeline. We got a heel John Cena against a babyface CM Punk, a babyface Randy Orton, a babyface AJ Styles. We'll talk about our boy AJ a little bit later, but he even had a couple of things to say about him too. There's just, it's almost like you're flipping the script. You're in an alternate timeline. All these bad guys that Cena went up against, now he's the bad guy. Pretty crazy. But I just love this opening segment, because when I saw him pull in with his truck, he came storming out. I'm like, holy fucking shit. This is why a lot of people chant CM Punk's name. This is why a lot of people love CM Punk. He's a ticking time bomb. He says whatever the fuck he wants on his mind. And a lot of people get behind characters like that organically because they just love people that stay true to themselves. They love people that don't put on a character just to be a character in the business, which is basically why he called out Rock and John and Seth. And he's just himself when he comes out there from 100% all the way. And one of the things that I loved when, like, and I got to give some props to Pat McAfee. Thank you for mentioning the final boss, because I can't even begin to tell you how long I've been waiting to see him say some shit about Dwayne.
Same here.
And we know the history between him and Dwayne. So if we ever get him and Dwayne, I'm not saying it needs to be in a ring, but just seeing them together, just having a promo, because I kid you, I love my matches as much as everybody, but those promo battles, the promos, they hit so hard. And I love the stuff he said about The Rock. Like, Rock, what do you think? You're immune because you're a part of the board, stuff like that, which is true, because we've said that before. Other people online have said that before, saying that you pretend to care about this business that gives you goosebumps because he does this shit all the fucking time.
Oh,
I
love how he did the motion. He did the motion, too.
I love that he did it like 3-4 times, and already said it for the podcast. It's like, yo, I do it too. Been making fun of him during the podcast, and I love it that CM Punk brought that up.
Like, I just saw a clip of it online recently, like when we were talking like about the show a little bit, and I was even watching a little bit of JD's review in the beginning when he pulls in the car, and even he's doing that fucking shit too to poke fun at it. So I just love that, because I mean it's true the way that he acts. So I like how he calls him out on his bullshit. Same thing with John Cena. I mean, if we ever do deep dives of rivalries down the line, this would be the one to break down. But just to keep it short, if you guys follow these guys' careers ever since they started butting heads, and you know all of the history, which a lot of the fans do, because I mean they follow these guys for years, they know exactly what CM Punk was saying all of those years ago when it comes to John Cena. I mean, fuck, just look at the pipe bomb. He pretty much spilled the beans there when it came to a lot of stuff about Cena. And just look at all the promo segments between the both of them, all the shit that he was saying about Cena. Obviously, people didn't look at it that seriously back then because Johnny Boy was the good guy. But just looking at everything he's saying now and looking at C to come to light, I mean, I love how that was brought up. Just so many, you got seeds planted with a Rock confrontation. You got seeds planted for John confrontation, which we know for a fucking fact that thing in Elimination Chamber isn't it, because he even said, I'm coming for your ass, which I fucking love. And you also have him calling out Seth for his bullshit, how he's acting. I just loved
the music hit. Oh.
Yeah, and then the music hit. He mentioned Becky, which is his trigger point. He's like, "Oh, Becky, better get your man before I get it myself." And then they ended up having this fight. They keep going at each other over and over again. It was a lot different from a lot of their like pull apart brawls that we saw before, because usually it's like a couple hits here and there, back away, a couple hits here and there, back away. They just kept going nonstop over and over and over again, continuing it. The music hit. You didn't have Seth come out there and say a few words to get Punk pissed. Punk, as soon as he heard the music, he came straight after his ass. And I just loved how everything was being built, even like during the commercials, people said it was still going. And then even what we saw in the backstage segments, it was still going. And it was great. It was a great start. I mean,
Drop. It was hilarious because during the sidecast, myself and Walkers was watching the Raw on Netflix on the USA side. But then every time they went on commercial, we went to our tablet or phone and saw through
Yeah.
the VPN, and we just kept saying, switch, switch, and just kept going back and forth because we were like, yo, we're tired of these commercials because we're missing segments of what's going on.
Yeah.
The Ron Breaker segment that happened later that we're gonna discuss about the segment of Bailey, all the stuff that we miss, including the segment of them fighting during commercial break. Because I was like, nah, because Watkins said it first. He's like, yo, I wonder if they're fighting commercial break. Like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna switch to my VPN, and then I switch, and then I see them still fighting, and Watkins like, what? We're going at it, and I love that drop because the immediate the song came on. Every time that CM Punk has been having a promo, Seth's song has literally interrupted him, and it's literally he's either throwing the mic, he's either talking to Pat McAfee like, why do you have to be him? He has so many rebuttal, but this one time he was already fuck this bullshit. He saw red. He was like a bull. He's like, yo, Seth. Seth was literally about to come and do his dance, but once he saw that Punk was running to him, he took off his glasses and said, oh, nah, you about to swing hands? I'm about to swing hands at you. And I love it how there was dead ass going from the ramp, from the stage to the ring, to the backstage, to the side. And then Punk during the commercial break, this man literally went behind the production team where all the fucking buttons are and everything. And he was dead ass about to hop over Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce was like, bro, stop it. No.
Yeah.
No. Get the fuck down. And the most funniest shit is that when Adam Pearce was outside with Seth after the second round with Punk and with Punk and Rollins and everything, after he told Seth like, look, I'll give you the match. You want to end that? Cool. Steel cage next week.
Oh, I love that.
Garden. So go inside your bus. And then the fucking security guards pissed me the fuck off because WE, yeah, either doing this on purpose or yeah, I literally just fucking with us in the head because yeah, I literally had the security guards, but all four of them was dead as a front of the bus. Now one of them was the front of the door, the back of the bus, nothing. So I was hoping I told Walker like, yo, Punk could just literally go on the side of the door and just go inside for another fight. And I was hoping that happened because I remember I was hoping for something like Steve Austin going to the hospital and just fighting Vince while he's in bed. So I was hoping for something like that. Like Punk just come in, has a camera, and just fighting him in the buzz. I wish that happened. That was something like just continue the drama where all the security guards, like 5-10 security guards aren't inside that one bus. Who knows, probably production or probably paying things inside, reimbursement. Who knows why they couldn't do it. But man, that would have been a beautiful segment. I love that shit. And the perfect way to start the match, the perfect way to start Netflix itself was to literally introduce everyone and have Punk started, have his pipe bomb and everything. And I agree, Drunk. My favorite line was, now, Becky, come get your mans or I will get him myself. Like, that was my favorite line. I don't know why, but just you poking at his wife and saying, yo, if you don't get him, I'm going to get him myself. That's it. Square up.
He pushed the Becky button. Like, you don't push the Becky button, you know. Look at what happened to Baron Corbin when he gave her an end of days. Look what happened to that man. Yeah. He got his head caved in. Oh, and my gosh. And, well, yeah, that was neither here nor there with that. But, man, yeah, again, this was just an amazing segment. Again, how do you capitalize on John Cena joining forces with The Rock? Throw CM Punk out there. He's with the company again. Let him cook.
What I love about this is that we didn't need The Rock or John Cena to continue this. Punk continue without them, but mentioning them, involving them, continue the story by progressing.
That's why I like the AJ thing.
Of their actions and what they have done. And even Punk, like, talking to the camera. Like, this man was literally at the camera, full face, and literally expressing how he felt, and the camera was there watching. And I love how the camera turned like the 5-second and just showing Punk with the WrestleMania logo, still showing that he might be going there. Who knows? But that's still the direction. Like the camera work, the production, everything was really nice. I was really impressed by that. The one thing I was saying, Punk, I can't wait until you just shit The Rock in person in a promo. It will be hilarious. That's one thing that I cannot wait.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's definitely coming because There wouldn't be
I have a
like
question. I have a question though, because I believe I saw JD or some other content creator posted this. But how do you guys feel? Because I don't like this because it feels repetitive from last year. CM Punk versus, CM Punk on night one with Cody Rhodes versus The Rock and John Cena on night one, and then night two we have John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. How do you guys feel about that? I believe JD posted this idea because of a theory that Seth and Punk next week will be interrupted by the OTC Roman Reigns, where we can have a Roman Reigns versus Seth at WrestleMania, and then we have Punk probably intervene with Cody, and then him talking like, "Hey, I need to have my square with Johnson and The Rock." How do you guys feel about that? I know I spoke to Wankers about this idea. Me and him both were not too a fan of it because it feels kind of repetitive from last year. So, drop any thoughts about this?
I would probably have to say the same thing. Like I get here's my thought process on it. It makes sense because like from a realistic point of view, you got to revisit that shit with Rock and Punk eventually. You can't just keep pushing it back. You got to eventually revisit it. I like the idea of the match. I just don't feel like it makes sense to have on the card because there's so many other matches you could put on the card. Like potentially Jay and Gunther could main event night one, or any of the women's matches could main event night one, or Roman and Seth could main event night one. I already know Cody and Cena's getting night two. That's pretty much set in stone. Makes perfect sense. Cena's last Mania, pretty much a given. But it's like, and I don't feel like it's really needed because it does sound repetitive because it's just you're just recycling what you had last year. You're just replacing Seth with Punk and Roman with John Cena. I don't really think you really need that because if you look at it from that point of view, it's like, what are you really getting out of that, really?
Yeah.
So
like the only other thing they could maybe add with it is like, oh, if Punk and again, this is a pretty much same, almost beat for beat, kind of beat for beat from last year, but it's like, oh, if Punk and Cody win, Punk gets added to the match. Like that would be the only extra caveat. But again, like it's very samey from last year, where it's just like, oh, if one team wins, the stipulation changes for the next night. You know?
Yeah, it's like I'm on board with them using the format that they did last year. Not talking about like the matches, but I'm not against them like ever doing it in the future, where it's like using a main event from night one and bleeding it on to night two, because I feel like that's actually pretty creative, the way that they worked that around last year. So if they ever did some sort of format where it's like a different match or whatever the case may be in the near future, I'm okay with it. I just feel like there's just a lot of matches you can throw that night one spot, and I can't really see it. And it
just feels too soon too.
Yeah, it feels too soon.
You know.
I just want to bring up this quick quotes from our boy Drew McIntyre. Dwayne Johnson posted this in June 29, 2011. CM Punk, it's simple business. The Rock is the main event at WrestleMania because it draws more money in one night than you will in a lifetime. Drew McIntyre quote retweeted saying, 14 years on and still relevant. Cry more, you bitch ass Punk. I'll see you down the line.
And you know what? And I mean, the best way to put it, honestly, he's proving what Priest said. Very right. Like, you remember what Priest said on Friday?
To CM Punk.
Yeah, like, because what Priest said on Friday, he was like, whatever happens after the Chamber, you're gonna go online, you're gonna complain, you're gonna do this and that. That he even like that was even like a closing line to that segment. He's like, you're just gonna go online, you're just gonna complain. Oh, I'm not obsessed with CM Punk. You're sitting at him, you're saying all the shit about him. It's like, you're proving him right. And I'll even quote myself on Friday if Priest brings that fucking shit up.
Yeah.
He's just proving I'm right.
Every single step of the way, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're getting a steel cage match next week between Seth and Punk. quote unquote ending this? First of all, yes, it's gonna cook. Obviously, it's freaking CM Punk versus Seth Rollins inside of a steel cage. How do we think this is going to end? Because I know there was that rumor. What was it, like a month ago, about the whole triple threat thing with Roman being involved and all that. How do we see this ending? Do we see this ending conclusively? Do we see this maybe with a Rollins win to kind of tie up the little series they're doing? Does Roman come back and kind of get his revenge on both of them? I mean, they'll both be in a steel cage. There's nowhere to run in a steel cage match. So like, what do you guys think? Just like early thoughts, I guess, on it. Like, what do you think could happen next week?
I wish I wish I could be there in spirit. At Madison Square Garden with only
so I'm
like
looking.
18 stops away, but sadly not there. But with jokes aside, what do I think my like expectation theory? Look, like I said it. We had possible triple threat, Roman Reigns being involved.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins even also mentioned him during the promo with Adam Pearce. He said,
it's
I
almost
want
like
to end
Easter egg.
CM Punk just like I ended Roman Reigns as well. So Roman Reigns got brought up. He could be brought up next week. He could be coming up. We may get Seth versus CM Punk round 3 of WrestleMania, or we may get Seth versus Roman Reigns. But honestly, it's hard to say because with what the buildup is with John, Jey Uso, all these storylines are getting bigger the more closer we get. It's kind of hard to say, are we going to stack Roman Reigns versus Seth on that same night when there's other storylines that could be bigger? Are they going to feel undervalued if whichever ones are there? So, like, are we going to push that for next year, or what are we going to do? Because right now, Seth and Roman, great. Seth and CM Punk round 3, either or, I'm okay with it. But I think Seth is winning. If I had to say, like, choose a winner, Seth, because CM Punk got the first win. So I'm going to choose Seth for them not to break even.
Okay. What says you, Drop?
Yeah, so like as you guys were talking, I was trying to see what Roman's schedule is. I know he's supposed to be part of the Europe tour. He's currently not listed for March 10th, but you could always still see him because they like putting shocking moments there. So I'm not gonna rule that out. But I mean, I could see Seth winning if you want to make it even, but at the same time, I can't really guarantee that because look at all this unpredictable shit we're getting. You never really know what's gonna like transpire within this match that could completely come out of nowhere, like Roman potentially coming back, another Punk win that keeps getting Seth, that keeps pushing Seth over the edge, which I kind of want that a little bit more.
Yeah,
but then you also got Seth getting something. I mean, technically Seth did get something back at Punk at the Elimination Chamber. He cost his chances of getting a title shot at WrestleMania. So it's kind of like, it's not like he's really fighting still to get something back at him. He technically did get that. So it's like, it could go in either direction. Punk can win, Seth could win, Roman could be part of this. I mean, I definitely feel like it's building into a triple threat match because, I mean, I feel like Cena and Cody, the way that's being built, I feel like you should just keep that alone. Especially with the direction that they're doing with this whole storyline, you should keep it the way it is. Because it's like we talked about before, triple threat matches are good every once in a while. If there's one that makes sense, like the Rhea, Bianca, and Iyo one, for example, okay, makes sense. You got a story building up. You got Bianca's story kind of intertwining with whatever's going on at Rhea and Iyo. Plus, you got another story blooming between the three of them in this match. And I could see the same thing happening with like CM Punk and Seth, because I mean, you got to think about it. Once Roman comes back, he's going to be heading after Seth to get back at him. But then you're going to think that maybe Punk still wants a shot at Seth, so then he gets involved in there, or whatever the case may be. Like, it's just really hard to predict what's going to happen. But I feel like it's going to be a great match. I mean, fucking steel cage match. As soon as I heard that, I was getting super excited. So I'm very curious to see like where that's going to go, what's going to transpire there, what big closing angle that they're gonna do. Because another reason why I can't really rule Roman out. I mean, a lot of things that happen at the Garden, a lot of big Samoan moments there. So
Oh
it's like,
yeah.
I mean, the last time
And we
they were
we
at
also have
the
the favor
Garden,
still in stock.
yeah, that's why I feel like the favor might be him getting inserted in that match. It could be something else. If it was me personally, I'd use it as like a future title shot or whatever. But I mean, he's CM Punk; he could easily get that no matter what. But I don't know. I mean, I guess the best thing I could really say, I don't have a trail to follow right now, so it's kind of hard for me to really come up with an answer for myself. So if there's a trail there, I can follow it, and I could probably come up with a better understanding of what this direction is. All I know is that you're gonna get some big angle to close out that show because they're at the Garden. And I'm not just saying that just to overhype the Garden. Like, they're at the Garden, and they tend to do that a lot. I mean, last time they were at the Garden, I recall you had that moment with Paul Heyman getting taken out by Solo and his bloodline. That was a crazy angle to end off the show. So I'm expecting the exact same thing to happen here. I don't know what it is, but I'm looking forward to it.
My quick side question about, since you brought up about the Europe tour, have they announced yet that we are going to be, like, for example, if it happens on like a 2 p.m. EST, are we able to watch it with them as well if they are airing it on Raw, Netflix like that? Or they haven't yet
Probably
announced how is that going to work?
Probably with VPN, not for us.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard anything yet.
For us, it would. I mean, if the thing is, it's like when they're on tour, and if it's something that intertwines with Raw and Netflix, we'll probably see it whenever it airs on our side. But if it's like something with SmackDown, you'll probably see it with a VPN through Netflix because that's how they get it on the other side of the world. Otherwise, we'll just have the show taped and we'll see it later on at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, they'd probably be able to get away with that with Raw, but like Drop
Raw
said, because SmackDown still airs on network TV,
USA.
so
Okay.
Yeah,
I just want
there's
to
not much way around there.
because I know that we're soon on that time. So, like, in case me or Walkers have to fix our schedule for sidecast in the future, but since that hasn't yet been set to be determined, then when the time comes, we fix that.
Yep.
Preferably, I would love for them to, simulcast Raw, because then we could just get on here, earlier in the evening and just go through everything. But, that's just me being selfish and all that. We're gonna keep this gravy train rolling here, all right? Because, like Drop said, there's not too much more we can kind of grasp and go on down a long and windy road with all this. Let's talk about our women's IC title, because we had another title defense for Lyra Valkyria. She took on Ivy Nile, and you know what? This was a really good match, I thought. Ivy Nile looked a little better here than she did against Dakota Kai. I think her and Lyra have a little bit better chemistry when it comes to the in-ring work and all that. Yeah, I mean, the story of the match being Ivy targeting Lyra's knee the whole time, which was pretty good because Lyra, again, she's a good seller, and she was selling it at some good times. I did see a couple complaints about, like, the second time Lyra got her up for the Nightwing, but I saw it, I'm just like, why? We've seen this before plenty of times where somebody gets injured, they can't hit their finisher the first time, but then they're able to the second time. Like, that's just wrestling 101 when it comes to all this. But yeah, like, there's a lot of tight suplexes, a lot of, like, stiff shots here and there and all that. But yeah, I thought this was a really good match, and I think it really helped elevate Ivy Nile a little bit.
I have to agree with what you said, because during the match we did say that the chemistry of Lyra and Ivy Nile was really good. They was really doing much better in this round than previously. The match was really something I was very excited by the end of the match, where we spoke about how this is how you should represent the IC title of Lyra Valkyria, because this is her second title defense finally, and we also saw Dakota in the background mentioning that she also said that, hey, I don't want to jump in and intervene because I want to respect, Lyra doing her thing, and that's really good to hear. Sportsmanship among the wrestlers, among the storyline of the kayfabe. So that's pretty good to hear, and it showed that this match was cooked. A lot of the crowd was showing and was eating this up. I believe they say one chant, I believe I heard saying like this was awesome. So it showed that the match was good. Lyra Valkyria really sold the knee pain, like
she's
showing
good
that
at
she
that.
tried to do the Nightwing the first time and she couldn't like land it or hold on the strength. So it showed very good execution in the selling. Because I know, Drop, you're a huge fan of her. How do you feel about her selling in the match overall?
No, that's one thing I can give her credit for, because she did the similar things back down in NXT, and even
Nice.
when she was in part of NXT UK, which was great. I really missed those days. But she's very good at selling, because that's also part of a story within a match, selling an injury. Kind of like how Penta did when he first came in of his debut match. He was really selling that leg. Very similar here when it comes to that angle, because it's actually a good comparison is like, look at what KO was doing. He was targeting the neck with Sammy over the weekend. It was telling that ongoing story because of the pile driver. Okay, I know Sammy's weak point. I'm targeting it there. And one of the things that Ivy was doing is she was targeting certain parts of Lyra's body. She targeted the knee because she knows that Lyra can be very vicious with that when it comes to her leg drop, when it comes to her little roundhouse kick that she normally does. And you always have to, you always got to hit those weak spots so you could set up for, like she did with the ankle lock, to really weaken her opponent, so she can get her in a position where she could potentially tap out and she can get the job done right there. That's just very smart thinking when it comes to understanding your opponent and know how to get him in a position where you can like take advantage of them and possibly pull out the victory with that. So I really liked how she was selling that knee throughout the match. I thought that was very good, because even though I know she was selling an injury, there's also that part of me that comes out where it's like, okay, is she okay here? Like it kind of like absorbs you in the world where you're like, we know everything is telegraphed, but there's that part of us that comes out sometimes. We're like, holy shit, is she okay? Just because the way that she's selling it. And there's people out there that aren't like us that actually believe, oh shit, is that like a legit injury? And you even saw you even saw parts of the match. He was screaming, I need help, stuff like that. It was very well done between the both of them. And it was great to see Ivy get in the ring, show what she's capable of, because she's had moments like that before with Rhea Ripley too, where she actually put on a good match. Obviously, we didn't expect her to win that, but just having good showcase matches, showing your mid-card division on Raw to see who's out there and to see who's next. It's just very good, and I'm hoping they can keep this rhythm up when it comes to Lyra. When it comes to Lyra's reign of against like other people and stuff, because we didn't see any Dakota involved in here. It didn't really make any sense, which I'm also glad that there was an involvement there, just one-on-one between the both of these girls. And it gets me really excited to see what comes next. That's what I'm interested in the most between the both of these girls. But I thought it was a really good match between the both of them.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess what comes next, I mean, earlier in the night, we had heard Raquel saying that she was taking a look at it. So, I mean, it could be Raquel coming out next to challenge Lyra, which, I mean, that could be a fun match. That could be a good one and all that. But, yeah, I mean, this was just solid. And it did what it's supposed to do by elevating the division and giving us a good, solid title defense in the long run for it.
It was.
But unfortunately...
My apologies. I was just going to say that we do know that we at least got future competitors in the future for the IC title. That's one thing that I love that Triple H set up. That we have Dakota, we have Raquel, we have Ivy Nile once again in the future. So we have a rotation now.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see when we're going to see... I was about to say Sonya Deville. My apologies. She's not even here no more. I'm curious to see when we're going to see Zoe Stark or Shayna basically back in action because we haven't seen them.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious to see, are they going to be holding off until WrestleMania and post season, and bring them back, probably rebuke them, have them in a much better showcase? That's my assumption, since we haven't seen a few of them. Since we saw Natalia and Maxine Dupree in the background, I don't know if that was also something involving that conversation or showing something like Easter egg in the future, or maybe that's just throwing or throwing like a needle in the haystack, most likely as well.
Honestly, my best bet really is to just have a repackage with Sonya Deville. I mean, not Sonya Deville. See, now I'm doing it now. But just do a repackage with Zoe and Shayna. That's honestly the best thing you could do. Get them away from PFC. It obviously was a failed experiment. Didn't really go anywhere. And just do the vignettes like they did with the ladies on SmackDown not that long ago. Like what they did with Alexa Bliss. What they did with Zelina Vega. Like, do stuff like that, instead of falling in line where they were before. Like, just recycle the entire thing, start off something new, and then go from there. Yeah. Which I feel like might be something they're doing behind the scenes anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah. But unfortunately, Ivy Nile just couldn't get the job done. Lyra she pulled out the victory and all that. So, Master Gable does not have one out of the 2 titles he asked his team to get and all that. But luckily for him, or unluckily, since they also didn't win either, the Creed brothers had a chance at the World Tag Team titles again. Now, what's interesting here, so I had mentioned Master Gable and all that, and we had been told, he's going out to find the secret to defeating luchadors and all that. We got a little video package of him, like, finding this secret master of the luchador and all that, and looks like he spent a lot of money on a very important Amazon box that has the mystery of how to defeat a luchador in it. And before we could see what he could pull out, we got cut to black. We got sopranoed here in this little episode of Monday Night Raw.
He doesn't have reference Soprano. I was gonna say Dragon Ball Z reference. I was gonna be like, stay tuned for the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
We didn't got cut to black, not even the fade to black. It was just like gone, all that. But I do have to ask you guys. What do you think's in the box?
I hope it's a mask. Because I would laugh. You gotta understand the lucha. You gotta become lucha libre, and then I hope we get something of a reference of Mucha Lucha. I don't know why, but I'm laughing. We get the reference.
He ended up.
Was it going to become a pinball?
I hope something like that to be hilarious. But Drop, what you think? Because I know you're trying to say something. My apologies.
He came across Sam Wing, the old guy from Gremlins. There's more than likely a gremlin in that box.
Just don't feed it after midnight.
Yeah. But I'm wondering what this really. We could say it's a mask, but it could be something completely different.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't know if this is falling in line of a potential vignette of teasing a upcoming guy coming to WWE, possibly a returning. Possibly returning star, something along the lines of that.
Black.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't want him a part of this. But it's because that's a guy you have a shot of making a main eventer that Triple H wanted to do. More than likely, he's going to be a SmackDown guy.
That's true.
Right. But it's it could be a mask, but I feel like that's too simple. Because you think he's trying to learn about the whole luchador thing. Him paying a whole bunch of bucks just to get a mask, that could be too simple. Could it be a mask next week if we see another video? Sure. But I feel like it might be something a little bit different beyond that. I don't know what that is, but I just feel like it's definitely building to somebody. It could definitely be a Rey Fenix tease or something, or
watch it be
something else entirely, or whatever. I don't know. That's the thing about it. It was just the way they ended it. It gets you to tune into next week.
The one thing is that I do appreciate, with all jokes aside, in the production value. The one thing is the production value. The filming,
it looked good.
Yeah, it's very similar to how they did the Roman and Cody stuff.
Yes, the Roman with the yacht stuff. It
Yeah.
reminded me of the Roman at the yacht or the Roman and Cody at the Super Bowl. Not Super Bowl. At a football field, kind
Yeah.
of remind me of that. As somebody who works in production, I could tell when the camera and the panning and how it's filmed very differently. And I really appreciate that somebody that is not the main eventers that are getting that type of focus now. The Romans, the Cody, the CM Punk, and everything. These type of vignettes. We're also getting into our mid card titles. I mean, sorry, not mid card titles. Our mid card players, the high up ones, where Chad Cable he's re-signed a contract. He's getting pushed. He's getting a story. We have other characters that are getting that. We're gonna talk about it during our quickfire segment. The LWO had also a segment. We also Kaiser doing his own thing. Braun Breaker doing his own promo. So everyone's getting their own type of focus line. But LWO and Chad Gable getting their own type of cinematic feel. But I have my complaint about LWO when we talk about that. But for Chad Gable, I have no complaints. It was well done. The Fade to Black cut, it was perfect. It got us to suspense and it got us to talk about it because it got us to theorize what could it be, what it is it masters or not? Is it a gun? Papa, instead of fighting Lucha Bit, you shotgun them. Boom.
Who knows?
Yeah. Oh
Maybe
man,
it's
but
style groups.
But I know our boy, the Creed brothers are gonna be very disappointed to show up because they even spoke to the camera, say, "See this, Chad? We're gonna get these titles. We're gonna secure them, yeah." And then by the end of the match, they did not secure them. They did not get it. But I do admit, the Creed brothers, Watkins said something perfectly during the sidecast that the Creed brothers felt like in the previous match they was holding back. In this match, I 100% agree with Watkins. The match succeeded in entertainment value in hitting all cylinders with what they did, the execution, both tag team. Watkins brought up a beautiful thing during the sidecast of how it was Elric using Ivar as a weapon on top of Brutus. It reminded him of how Raquel uses Liv and other tag players uses their partners as a human ball or as a weapon to take down the other opponent. So it's very well executed and it gets into the moments and gets into the hype. So to me, I'm so entertained by that and it's very well matched. It was I think this match was 18 minutes from what I saw. Sorry, yes. No, wait. 11 minutes and 43 seconds. To me, this match could have gone for another 4 or 5 minutes. It could have been a good 15-minute match, but it was very, very well executed. That I was impressed by the World Raiders. I know that me and Watkins thought the Creed brothers may have almost won tonight, but I knew the World Raiders would win because I believe that if we are going to push the Creed brothers to win, it's going to be at WrestleMania where it's going to feel more satisfying for them. That's the only people I think right now for the Creed brothers to take over the World Tag titles from the World Raiders.
Well, I don't have anything else to add since Vash already said everything I was going to say.
Pretty much summed it up. It was a great
I
match.
mean,
They had their show.
I mean,
I did my best then.
American Made I felt like it was probably the best outcome given what we got towards the end of the night. Because American Made, they weren't well made today. So they ended up losing the Intercontinental title shot. They ended up losing a World Tag Team title shot. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what Chad Gable says when he comes back from his little side quest.
Well, let's say
again, he might
showcase, and that's important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's why Chad probably just bought a gun. It's just like, all right, this is how we take care of all of the luchadors. This is how we take care of the tag team division. How we take care of the women's IC title division. Just pull out the Glock, bam, 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 done.
Yep.
Got it. Oh boy, but yeah, again, a lot of the matches cooked tonight. Very much a fine meal that really, really satiated the stomach. You know, I was full tonight. It was great.
We were. I believe Watkins also lost track of time during the show. He's like, "Oh shit, it's 9:40. We're about to get into we're about to get to the main event." Like, it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
It was the night went smoothly. We're about to get into a quick fire segment. Before we get into a quick fire segment, I know we didn't get to talk about him because he didn't show up. But did anybody see R-Truth changing profiles, asking him, asking online to ask for clarification. Are we gonna get an R-Truth heel run as well because his childhood hero turned heel run? I have a question for you guys because I believe he might turn a heel run.
Well, we can probably touch on that on SmackDown since he's on SmackDown.
Oh, yes,
no.
But yeah, the quick answer is no.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he might crash out. He might do some more stuff on social media, but that's we'll see with all that. But I mean, we have some quick fire segments to kind of go through really briefly. AJ Styles made some comments about John Cena. Drop, you had mentioned some of this a little bit earlier on. What exactly did you mention about John Cena?
He was pretty much in like a lot of other people when it came to the sort of decision that John Cena made. And obviously, if you know the story between AJ Styles and John Cena, you pretty much know the whole story between both of those guys, so you could really tell how that would affect him, considering that, like Punk said earlier in the show, this was a guy preaching all this shit for years and then kind of flipping the script here, catching a lot of people off guard. It's pretty much just fell in line with that, which obviously we'll probably revisit sometime this year. I'd be surprised if we didn't. But then also, I'm not gonna lie. But also on top of that, you got Karrion Kross getting involved, obviously pulling strings.
Oh yeah.
And you also have AJ Styles calling out Logan Paul next week. And I also kind of like that little Evil Ways tease. TNA fans know exactly what that is.
Yeah.
So I have a question about that. Is he calling him out, like meaning that he's gonna go to the ring and call him out to come and fight, or is he telling him already that we're gonna have a 1-on-1? That's a bit confused for clarification.
Well, pretty much he's just gonna call him out because it's almost one of those things where it's like you see someone talking a lot of shit. Let me look at Punk. Pretty much just calling people out for all their bullshit. That's pretty much what he's doing. He's just calling out Logan Paul for all his bullshit. That's pretty much what it is.
One thing I think would be funny is if Cena, because again, since Cena's going to be heel, we kind of want him to kind of clap back on a lot of things. It'd be kind of funny if Cena just kind of came up and just like, guess what time it is, AJ? Time to beat up AJ Styles! Kind of like how he was doing back in like 2016. Like,
funny.
Time to beat up John Cena! So that'd be kind of cool.
I was just gonna add for the AJ Styles comment. I agree with everyone said. The one thing is that Karrion Kross, you are the devil on the shoulder. You've been saying it, and everything's working out. You said at the end that it worked out perfectly. And motherfucker, what the fuck do you mean? Stop being so cryptic.
Yeah.
Explain shit. Stop going to social media and they give us a 2-minute monologue of what you're trying to explain. It gets confusing. It's like I gotta go watch on Netflix and I gotta go on Twitter to find out, and then I gotta put the pieces together.
Yeah, but we don't have to put too many pieces together with this next segment, with Kaiser just basically coming out to the ring. He's talking shit on Penta, being like, "I told you what I would do. Now come out here," and just like basically he wants acknowledgement. He wants to try to be his own tribal chief in his own Austrian way, German way. Yeah, but anyways, that's besides the point. Penta comes out, beats him up, and this is leading to a singles match between the two, which, again, will slap hard. Kaiser continues to be good on the mic by himself, being his own person, so I really appreciate that. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the match when it happens. Okay, here's this LWO video promo. So, first of all, video promo I thought was really good, and at first I thought Ray wasn't going to be involved because I almost made a joke on the sidecast being like, "Oh, look at how the LWO can thrive without that bum ass Rey Mysterio out there."
Yes,
but
yes, fuck, yes, yes. Oh, that bothers shit out of me too. Once the camera panning to Ray, it pissed me the fuck off. I don't know why, but it bothers me. Like, if Ray didn't pop in, Dragon Lee and the other two, which is perfect. Thank you for saying it, Watkins.
Yeah. Well, I mean that I was mainly just saying that because of just the other three, just being like they work so well as a unit, and it's like, you know, Ray's fine in the group. It's just, I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of wants him away from the group now. You know, like do you think somewhere else? Like Dragon Lee and the other two can really cook on their own, and yeah, I mean, hell, we're getting a tornado tag match next week against the New Day, which
fun.
that's gotta be good.
I agree. That was one of my complaints from what I mentioned earlier. The Raid thing just coming in and taking the lead, becoming the foreground of the other video, and then Dragon Lee being behind him, and then the two tag team stay in the background where they were the centerpiece of the beginning of the promo, was racing and mad at the camera panning to them and then to the side of them, showing their faces where it was them speaking. It was beautifully tell in the director and what they were trying to produce. But once Ray came in, it took me out. As much as I love Ray and everything and what he's been doing for the company, but I 100% support what Watkins said, that Ray, yo, go do your own shit, or eventually be like a leader / producer for the other BO, but don't be involved with them. Like, it doesn't work. Like Dragon Lee and them two, if you didn't get involved, it was still hit. They did the Spanish and the English. They did what they do when it comes to people that speak two languages, and to me, it succeeded. But once Ray said, "All right, it's gonna be me and Dragon Lee, it's gonna be against a New Day," I'm like, honestly, I would have preferred Dragon Lee versus, you know, with one of them or something, or seeing them two, or seeing, I don't know, 3 versus 3. But Ray, like, I love you, but I'm not interested at the moment.
But there's no other third guy to really do that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So it's,
New
like,
Day
it's kind of
side.
tough.
But it's like, I'm okay with Ray getting involved in this match, because you can't really do Dragon Lee if one of the other guys. I mean, you got to do the two top names of that group against them.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that, you know, this transitions into something else, and we could see what sort of storyline we get heading into WrestleMania, because, you know, a big match like this kind of seems to me like the end of their feud. So hopefully we see what the next chapter is for a lot of these other guys. But I'm still looking forward to the match, because tornado tag match, meaning that the team can be in the ring at the same time and just do whatever the fuck they want. I mean, it's going to be great.
No DQ. So, like, Ray literally said that tonight. He's just like, that means no tags, no disqualification. We could do anything. So it's just like, oh yeah, they're gonna have some fun with this. And you know what? I'm gonna start this too, starting this week, just because we are in Mania season. We are in that unpredictable time that almost anything can happen. I mean, hell, CM Punk's back in WWE, so, you know, anything can happen. Hey, Big E, you cleared yet?
Yeah.
You cleared yet? You want to come back and set up that little thing? You know, just my Big E, are you cleared question. That's what we'll call that every week. Big E, are you cleared yet?
Well,
Okay, great.
well, you know, I know Kofi is still mad because they're like, hey, he's still working the Elimination Chamber announce table, pre-game stuff, and post-show. He's still doing that, and he ain't coming to work being a manager for them. So, yeah,
I mean, they did kind of, you know. Would you want to manage somebody that basically told you go somewhere else?
Yeah, I know.
After coming back injured and all that, like,
right there.
yeah.
Oh,
man. But, you know, our last little quickfire segment, it kind of also ties in with the Judgment Day as well as a whole. But basically, Braun Breaker, he has this promo with Jackie, you know, hyping up the crowd, hyping up himself and all that. And out comes Finn, calling him out, saying, "Oh, nobody can touch me in this ring," even though your record kind of shows a little different. And I would defeat you, Braun, easily, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Basically goading Braun out there. And Braun just decimates the Judgment Day, takes out Carlito, pushes Finn back after a quick little beatdown, easily disposes of Dom. Like, Braun's about to destroy the Judgment Day on his own. But I mean, I know. What was it last week? I think we were speculating on like the whole multi-man thing for Braun, which those rumors are also still going around. But it looks like we're focusing right now with Finn and Braun, and I mean that match will slap. It'll be great and all that. But this also still kind of ties in with the Judgment Day thing, because like earlier on with them in the back, Finn was like,
add a new member, yeah.
Yeah, they want to add a new member, and he's just like, I don't want a new member. We're the Judgment Day. We don't need a new member. And he literally said, hey, let me take care of Braun. I want to take care of Braun. And then Dom and Carlito still come out. So it's like, okay, you guys aren't listening to him. I mean, that's obvious to begin with anyways. But yeah, I guess, I mean, we're still kind of driving that wedge between the Judgment Day and all that. How you guys feeling about this kind of, I guess, this setup for the possible Braun Breaker multi-man match and more divide between the Judgment Day?
Rob, if you don't mind me going first, because I only have two things to say. One, Braun, you have the eyes behind your back, because my man, you was looking at Finn and Dom, and you was like, hold up, somebody missing. He turns around, he spears the living shit out of Carlitos. I love that shit. My fuck Carlitos, but I know, but it should look beautiful on that. And two, on Finn, you're a horrible liar. You got caught lying on 4K in front of all these people and on Netflix. You're saying that you're untouchable when you literally say you could do this by yourself, but then Dom Carlitos comes and help you. They get scrapped like a dog barking. Done. And you literally get thrown down by Braun Breaker that needed to get saved because you was about to get cut in half by Braun, but got saved by Dom. And then you guys are walking the back like you guys are good two friends. The one thing I'm curious to know is that what was the original plan for the Judgment Day storyline before they had to pivot before JD injury? That's one thing I'm curious to know if we're ever going to find out what was the original plan for Judgment Day for this current run leading into Road to WrestleMania since JD. That's all I had to say.
I don't think there ever was a pivot.
Yeah, I feel like they would have still been here, except Finn would have had a little bit more backup on his side, rather than him just being by himself. Because like him and JD seemed pretty tight. Like they seemed like a unit within the Judgment Day. So it's like, okay, they would have stuck together, and JD would have just kind of been his, like, Finn's lackey and all that. So like instead of Carlito, and I mean Carlito would probably still take some stuff, but like I feel like Dom probably wouldn't be as involved with some of the Finn segments, just because he would probably be more focused with Liv. But yeah,
because I feel like, I mean, the whole story between them, even when JD was still there, was just the whole relationship with Finn and Judgment Day as a whole. So even without him there, that's just been the story since the very beginning, which is why you always get that whole thing brought up about a new member. And that's not them saying, oh, let's replace JD with somebody. He's even brought that up before, even when JD was there. So this has been an ongoing thing for quite some time. It's just pretty much a way of finally getting Finn out of Judgment Day. Like once they find that new member, once Dom puts his foot down, because I mean, I can honestly see a program between Dom and Finn at Mania just based on the sort of story that they're telling right now, how they keep butting heads, how Dom always has something to say to Finn when Finn tries saying something smart. So that's where I feel like they're really doing right now. Like they keep trying to run into people. They always end up coming up short. And then in the end, you know, they're going to have to boot Finn out and then see what goes beyond that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I mean, and the whole thing with like Braun seeing Carlito in the back of his head, I mean, Braun Breaker is the Odin of WWE. So, I mean, there's your reasoning for that. He's got that observation hockey unlike any other. He's got that conquerors hockey like any other. He is the man that scarred Kaido during the Royal Rumble. What are we on right now? Braun Breaker, more like freaking Kozuki Odin, yoi, all that stuff because of Kabuki things and all that. I don't know, whatever. Oh, man. But yeah, I'm excited for where we're moving forward with, you know, Braun Breaker, possible multi-man match for the IC title. I would assume Braun would come out on top in that, because he really should be showcased a little more on Raw. That's just me. That's besides the point, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
I
But
just hate how he's just doing backstage stuff and not actually involved in more stories. Like he has to do backstage to get involved in storylines where he's just like, "Yo, you're IC title winner. When was the last time you defended your title? The fuck, Braun? Like you
Last
complain
time-
at Adam Pierce, you complain at Nick Aldis that yo, you're not doing shit with me. So what the fuck? Do something then."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because like the last time I can remember him having a title defense was against Sheamus
Mm.
at Saturday Night's Main Event. So
Yes, I forgot.
Mhm.
yeah, but hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. See, I'm being nice tonight. I'm not being a heel. I'm not being a tweener. I'm being nice. I'm a nice boy tonight. That was Raw tonight. I thought it was a really good show. You know, I mean that's pretty much been par for the course since we've been on Netflix and all that. But like, especially now that we're in Mania season, everybody's promo work, or at least like their promo delivery, has been on point. The matches have been cooking. I mean, what we got 1, 2, 3. We got 4 matches tonight, and I mean they each had a varying level of cooking. There were some that were just like the nice little appetizer for our meal going into Mania. Some of them were like a full course, like 7-plate meal from a buffet. Like, oh my gosh, yes, give me more of this. And yet your belly is so full that even though you want more, you just can't fit more. So you have to wait another day or week or whatever
Yep.
to even go back to the restaurant and eat the rest of what you want. But yeah, I mean, again, we're in Mania season. We got, according to commentary, we have 47 nights until WrestleMania. So yeah, we're full throttle now. We are hitting the gas pedal. We are, starting everything now, going into Mania to really build for, I think, a really good show for the Las Vegas crowd. But Vash, what did you think of Raw tonight?
Look, Raw was amazing. You guys could check out the sidecast or check out our social media on Weebs of the Ring. Everyone, all the handles. We're on TikTok, IG, Twitter. I'm not sure if we're still using Blue Sky, but go check that out. We're there. We're on all social media, so go check out our reactions from the Mission Chamber, our content. Raw was fun. It was a good time. You saw our discussion. You saw the time codes. Iyo beat Rhea. A lot of people was shocked. But guess what? Story-wise, she's a Grand Slam champion, like on Stardom, and now on WWE. She's one of the first to do it. She's a trendsetter, and congrats to her. And when it comes to CM Punk, you drop a pipe bomb. You do what you do. Now let's see where it goes. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Drop. What you think of Raw tonight?
I thought tonight was honestly a great show. I love the opening with CM Punk, like I discussed, very strong start. A lot of compelling television there when it comes to what transpired, what he said, and then also what went on between him and Seth. Thought we had a lot of good matches tonight. I love that Iyo won the match. Again, like I said, unpredictability is back. I'm really loving how we're getting stuff like this where we could hop on the show and we can be like, holy shit, we didn't see that coming. And it just makes the program just a very fun experience overall. And I just loved a lot of the story that's structured around Mania, pushing certain feuds, stuff beyond that. And so I had a great time tonight.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we have a great time on Friday night when SmackDown rolls on in. We got some things to kind of follow up with over there on the old Blue brand. We got NXT tomorrow. Hopefully they can cook, because this is basically their go home week for Roadblock, which I say go home, but it's a special episode of NXT which is gonna be in the Garden, or at least like on the side building of the Garden, or either way,
Madison Square Garden Theater. That's what it is.
Yeah. So they're in the area, so it's going to be a special show regardless. So that'll be happening this week as well, and of course we got Grappling with the Week on Thursday. We got, I think we got a good topic, but if you want to find out what that hot topic's going to be, you're going to have to tune in on Thursday night around 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll also be talking about NXT from tomorrow and Dynamite and whatever news tends to pop up between now and then.
One more thing. Go check out twitch.tv/AnimeWe Studio because we'll be live this weekend for the WWE 2K25.
Yeah.
No time yet to be determined, but go check out our social because we will have the time, or check out the YouTube community tab, or check our Twitter where we have it out there that we're live, or maybe we might post little shorts saying that we're live. So check out because we'll be playing our 2K game and watch Watkins do his thing.
Yeah, so yeah, be sure to stay tuned there. Follow all of our social media so you get notified when we do. Not sure if we're gonna do the showcase or if we're gonna start the My Rise. Might end up. I think I'm leaning towards the showcase mode. I think that'll be a little bit of a better meal to kind of eat as we go into 2K25 and all that. But yeah, the only way to kind of find out when we're going live for that show and all of our other shows is to follow us on those social media platforms. You know, there's a nice little yellow area right below me. It's not the sun rising. It is where all of our handles are. So you got Anime We Studio, you got Drop This Box, you got Legendary Vash, you got Watkins MW, and of course Weebs of the Ring. Those are all of our handles. You can follow us on all those social medias: IG, TikTok, Instagram. I already said Instagram, Twitter, all those fun stuff. Again, you can check us out there, see when we go live and all that, but also use the hashtag Weebs of the Ring so you can interact with us before, during, or after these shows, so that way we see how the conversations are going, create that nice little community and, you know, kind of a safe space for us to kind of talk positively or criticize what we need to when it comes to our professional wrestling and our love for the entertainment of it. But with all that being said and done, thank you. That's right. I want to thank you, Robert, for taking time out of your day to listen to the Weebs of the Ring podcast. If you enjoyed what we had to say, again, all those social media handles are below. Hashtag, use it. Awesome, great. Join in on the conversation, but also let us know of anything that we could do to improve our show, because we are nothing without you guys tuning in, and we love to improve ourselves and make the show even better for generations of fans to come. Weebs of the Ring is presented by Anime We Studio. Thanks as always to our production team for all of the hard work that they put in every single day and every single minute, every single hour, every single second of the days when we're putting these shows on. Thank you once again, and as always, well, except for this past weekend, but tonight, luckily, no stunt grannies were harmed in the recording of this podcast. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you on Thursday for Grappling with the Week.
Peace out, guys. Have a good night.